You were responsible for $3,408 that was raised for the softball team.
Here,
I feel like for some reason it feels like
typical.
backwards.
It's a typical day.
It is typical. I don't know why you think. Nothing ordinary. You said there's no normal here.
Yeah, there's no normalcy here. It's weird. It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get.
Everyone on their toes, friends.
All right, we now call 24 CR 33, the state of Texas versus Brandy Stelly. Is that you, ma'am? Present. With your attorney and the state's attorney, Ms. Minaldi, does the defendant waive a formal reading of this indictment here, charging you with state jail felony of theft? And can we proceed in summary? In summary, this indictment alleges that on or about June 6, 2023 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the state jail felony of theft of a value of $2,500 or more, but less than $30,000. Do you understand what you're charged with? If convicted, you face confinement in a state jail for any term of not less than 180 days or more than 2 years. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand? An agreement's been reached where you would be pleading guilty, placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation. Gives you a chance to fix this without a record. Ordered to pay restitution in the amount of $3,408.18, I guess, to the complainant in this case. And your probation would be up to 5 years in length. Is that your understanding of the agreement? If I follow this, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand? You have soft voice.
Yes.
How do you plead to this?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty? And again, if I follow this agreement, which I intend to do, you will have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand? I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. I'm going to ask you if you reviewed this with your attorney. Are the contents true and correct? And did you sign all of those documents? You understood what you were doing. State's Exhibit 1 tendered into evidence without objection admitted. Among other things, the state you were mentally competent to enter your guilty plea, which is freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. The indictment's been read to you. Have you read it? You were guilty of the crime charged in any lesser included offenses. You were giving up your rights to a jury trial and the rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses. You were totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All of this is true, so help you God. State's Exhibit 1, part of the record for all purposes.
No objection.
And without objection, it's admitted.
Yeah.
Pre-sentence report, Wayne?
Yes, Judge.
Let me ask just one thing, Ms. Daly, on this plan that's been fashioned by your attorney, which it looks like a good one for you. This $3,408.18. How are you going to pay this back, and how quickly can it be done, and in what way do you plan on doing it?
Oh, if I may, I have asked if she has a lump sum to pay today, and she does not have that available to her right
A lot
now.
of people don't.
So it was just going to run through probation. And
How are you
if
going
she's
I want to know, because I'm going to order whatever it is in that method. I'm going to order it so that we know, because some people, I'm going to pay it back. I'm going to pay it. If I don't order it that way, then what happens is we're stalling on getting it paid, because everybody has great plans, but sometimes they're puffing a little bit about what the honest method is going to be. And people, unlike breaking an arm where you can't unbreak it, you can put in a cast and it can heal, but you still can't unbreak it. With loss of money, you can pay it back. But unlike the federal system where I was for 20 years, you have interest.
Right.
That just ate people up. And that's actually the best way to do it, in all fairness, because when people have lost money, paying the amount back over a year or 2 or 3 or 5, if they just get dollar for dollar back, they've lost the use of that money over time. So they've lost, and they're always a victim. The point being, I try to push getting this paid back as soon as possible. How are you going to pay this? How can you pay this back as soon as possible? That's what I'm
guaranteed.
Yeah. Do you have a plan?
Like, $400 to $500 a month, Judge.
Can you do that?
Minimum $400. If she can pay more, then she'll pay more.
That still is at $3,600 dollars. How much?
Oh, I'm bad.
9 months.
Yes.
9.
I'm hoping income tax, I can figure it out.
You're gonna rely on the federal government to? Oh, boy. Good luck.
I don't know.
Okay.
Pay it off sooner, I will.
All right. Did I make findings already? I kind of trailed off on this stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so I've signed these documents and I find you are worthy of being placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation for 5 years. And this restitution, $3,408.18 shall be paid back at a minimum of $400 per month or sooner if you can. And that will be paid toward to the complainant, and you were placed on probation for 5 years. You do well on probation. I can shorten it for 1/3 of that, which is a year and 2/3. A year and 2/3. Okay. And I do it all the time, almost every day. So, because people, 85% do well. Okay. And she left. She's making copies.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay. Meet with her here in a minute. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Well. Hey, Reagan, do you have any others right now?
No, not until this afternoon.
You got
I'm
some-
just sorry your docket.
You're making a farce out of this whole, this is supposed to be all about truth. Andy here first, that's you, 24CR. And you are here with Ms. Minaldi, your attorney, and the state's attorney does. The defendant waive a formal reading of the indictment and arraignment. Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, Judge.
In summary, this indictment alleges that on or about June 6, 2023 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the state jail felony of theft. You understand what you're charged with?
Yes.
If convicted of a state jail felony, you face confinement in state jail for any term of not less than 180 days or more than 2 years. Additionally, you may be assessed a fine not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand?
Yes.
Agreement's been reached. You would be pleading guilty, placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation. That can be up to 5 years in length. Restitution is owed in the amount of $3,408.18 to the complainant in this case. Just looking at something. Stay. Just. There are different ways to handle matters, right? It has been over a year. June was a year ago. It's September, so it's 15 months that this money has been displaced. Take it that you're about to plead guilty to. Not one dime has been returned. Not one thin penny of after 15 months. Why?
I didn't even know that there was like they press charges or anything. I didn't.
Ma'am, you want me to read the probable cause affidavit out loud to everybody? You don't, because I've read it and it's not good for you. You were told about this back in June 6th. And you were in a position of trust. This was a fundraiser for a team. No, don't even, there's no dancing around on the issue, man. This is terrible. Why didn't you, if you'd have paid it back, this probably would have been handled differently. But we're talking about softball, kids being hurt. What'd you do with the money? What did you do with the money?
I didn't take the money. I have receipts and everything. I could have gone to trial, but I didn't want to because I need to.
No, we're going to go to trial. So we'll do. You're not guilty. Don't look at me and say I didn't take any money.
Sure, but I can't risk I have a nursing license. I can't risk my children.
Well, you can't look at me and say I didn't take any money, but I'm going to plead guilty on this. I won't accept it. You're making a farce out of this whole, this is supposed to be all about truth. This is nothing about the truth. No, you don't look at me and say, well, I'm going to plead guilty, but I'm not guilty. You would have to be, in fact, let me read to you what you've signed, okay? Let me read to you. I'm going to ask you to handle. Look at that first paragraph. That first paragraph. Did you sign that? Yes?
Yes,
Speak
sir.
out, please.
Yes, sir.
Read the last sentence out loud. Out loudly.
I swear that. Well, as for me, I give is the truth, so help me God.
The sentence before that. No, on the first paragraph, the last sentence. What's the last sentence say in the first paragraph, ma'am? That's the top paragraph, the last sentence of the top paragraph.
This before the last one. I am guilty of the offense.
What'd you say?
I am guilty of the offense.
And then at the end, you swear under oath. Did you just commit perjury?
I mean, I'll take, I take.
That's not what you said a minute ago.
I take blame on some parts.
It's not unusual to get frustrated up here because a game is being played and there's no game to be played up here. It's the truth, the search for the truth. You either are guilty or not guilty. If you're not guilty, but don't say I'm pleading guilty, but I'm not guilty. When you swear under oath, you're guilty. And I'd ask the DA's office to please look into perjury charges. Good luck with that on your record. You turned in a check for $3,408.18 from your deceased father's checking account. Tell me what's wrong about this, because this is under oath and I want to know who's not telling me the truth. You're shaking your head. Is that right or wrong?
Yes.
No, don't shake your head. Because everybody's under oath here, and I'm going to start taking some scalps if we're playing games and the oath is being used irresponsibly. All right. The check was turned into softball league. They deposited it at Nature's Federal Credit Union in Beaumont. You were contacted and a few days later advised that the check had bounced for insufficient funds. Are we right so far?
Was never contacted. Because
This would be the police, I think, or the bank or somebody. Nobody contacted you at all. Is that what you're saying? Under oath. Because you're under oath right now. Nobody contacted you about it.
Contacted me, yes. Later, at a later date.
Pull this thing out of.
I'm sorry. I'm really nervous. Yes, sir, at a later date, not right when it happened, the detective Bonita contacted me.
The officer later confronted you about the whole situation, and you stated you did not write a check to the league with your father's checkbook. You came up with multiple possibilities about how this could have happened. None of them were reasonable or likely, they say. The check that's in your father's name was provided to the league is for exactly $3,408.18. What a coincidence. It would be not associated with the fundraiser. Also, it is not likely anyone else would have had access to your deceased father's checkbook. I later contacted you multiple times to come in for a statement and questioning, always had an excuse why you couldn't come in. You did send an email of screenshots of a group message with parents on the team in regards to the money, but none of it has any evidentiary value on it. You included a screenshot of an online bank statement for an unknown bank that showed a check was cashed from your account for the amount of $3,408, which is not the exact amount. The screenshot does not show the bank or the credit union name, account holder name, or number, nor does it provide any information that proves this is your account and that the check was cashed by the Nederland Softball League. It was suspicious. You told Officer Arsenault that you did not write the league a check, but that the money was given back to them. However, when I spoke with the defendant, she said you did write the league a check and the amount they claimed You owed them, and that was one of you sent a screenshot, quote, was claiming to be the check withdrawn from your account. You have denied writing a check when speaking with the officer, but admit to writing one when speaking to me, and even sending a screenshot of what you claim to be proof of payment. Also, this check that was written to the league was for $3,408.18, and the screenshot shows a check was cashed from your account for $3,408.08, which is conflicting. $3,408.08, 10 cents difference is the difference. Conflicting amounts, again, proving you are fabricating evidence either through the screenshot of an account that could be anybody's or through your lies and deceitfulness. Well, they just added two and two together
Yeah.
kind of thing and came up with the math. It didn't work right. But what we're dealing with here is not manipulation with me. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not going to watch it happen in front of me. And all of this is above board, or else the whole respect and honor of this that we do goes down the toilet. And it's not going to do it on my watch. And I'm going to hold people honest and responsible for dishonesty up in front of me. You're charged with a crime of dishonesty, but right here, it didn't take you long for you to get on my bad side, because I don't put up with it. And say the worst thing anybody can say out loud is, I'm pleading guilty, but I'm not guilty. I just did sign it. I am committing perjury though, and I'm very happy to be doing that, but I want everybody to be to understand, well, that's not the way we do it. Everything is going to have to be fit in place and have to be answerable to the truth, or else we'll let a jury over there, a group of people who I'm sure would be fair. But I know when children are involved being used, I know what juries do since I've tried 600 jury trials. I know what they do. They get angry, and they should be. Anyway, it's not going to be manipulated in front of me. So that's a long way of walking it back to this. I don't like this. I think a jury ought to decide, and then we'll see how that plays out. But you asked for it. You came up here and right out of your mouth, you were lying.
Can I explain, sir, what I was meaning?
You thought about an explanation that
The screenshots that.
I'm not talking about this. That's in that. I don't have the police officers here. I'm just reading to you what is said, but in the probable cause affidavit, they talk about you manipulating and not being deceitful. I'm talking about this. I'm going to plead guilty, but I'm not guilty. That's your problem with me. And I don't accept deals when you say, I'm under oath here and I am guilty of the offense and no lesser included offense. I swear all of this, as well as the testimony I give, is the truth. So help me God. You came right out of the box. And I know it's not the truth because you said it wasn't. You can't play it both ways. Maybe you have an issue, about honesty, but you're failing right now. We can't play, we'll play like you didn't say it. It's on the record.
It was just that there was two other ladies involved, and that's why I said, yes, I am guilty. Yes. I'm not the only one. That's what the screenshots was about. I wasn't the only one that handled funds. I'm
going to reset this 4 weeks. We'll let state look into this. Y'all get to the bottom of this and we'll come back and see where we are. Okay. In 4 weeks. Thank you. Okay, is that it for you, Reagan?
Zachary Broussard is mine.
We also have Kevin Smith.
We have Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith?